The characteristic of being easy to see through. Hey everyone, and welcome back to TheFortitudeFix. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for coming back for day 2 of the 7 Days of Fortitude. It's a series I'm doing here on this channel where I am posting 7 videos, 1 per day for an entire week, and each video is dedicated to a different word. Today's word, transparency. I was in a counseling session with my counselor that I spoke about in the previous video, where she asked me a question, and the question made me think that it is clear, crystal clear, that she is seeing right past all the stuff that I am putting in front of her. She is seeing through the script, the narration, the things that I became accustomed of saying. She was able to see past a lot of the defense mechanisms that I had put up and that actually worked to BS other people, but it wasn't working with her. And it wasn't until that moment that I realized, hey, there is really power in being transparent. I realized that transparency does indeed yield connection. One of the defense mechanisms that I had was to never let people get too close to me. Unless you were a close friend of many years, or a family member, or someone that I've spent time with, there wasn't any getting into me, into my core. Being transparent with you wasn't anything that I was interested in doing. I was afraid. I can now say that. I was afraid to be transparent because, according to the definition, that meant you could see me. That meant I couldn't hide between the armor that I worked so hard to build up. To be transparent, I had to unlearn certain behaviors and relearn how to communicate and also how to connect with people. I would only let you get so far, and then when you crossed the line or when I felt uncomfortable, anything that happened, I would, I'm done, I'm not gonna kind of let you in. In order for me to get a result that I never had before, I had to do something I never did before. In wanting connection with other people, I needed people to see me so that they can understand that they can be transparent with me too. Sometimes I feel like people don't go deep. They are not about all that feelings stuff. It's about business. Next, I'm fine. Next. So if we want a deeper connection with the people around us, transparency is key. Not saying we have to tell all of our business and all of our secrets. However, especially if you want someone to be fully honest and present with you, you kind of have to put that there as well. When I was in college, I was a leader on campus of sorts because I was a part of my school's peer health education program. I started as a volunteer educator. I was trained, and then I would go out and do presentations on various health topics around campus. Once I got through a couple of years of that, I actually became the lead of violence prevention, which is one of the specialty areas that we focused on. I was able to then train other upcoming volunteers and educators. In doing these presentations, I would need to be transparent in order to get the word across. So yes, I would share stats and statistics about healthy and unhealthy relationships. I would talk about characteristics of both. I would talk about some warning signs, some red flags. I would talk about what consent meant and what it didn't mean. I would also share a couple of personal stories or anecdotes, how I blamed myself, how I felt that it was my fault. If I only did this differently. I'm a health educator on campus. I'm supposed to know better. Because of that transparency, I was able to then redirect that negative inner dialogue that was blaming myself for what was happening. I was able to call a thing a thing. I was able to say, this is not okay. I will not stand for this. I deserve more. I will not be treated in this way. I found my voice through being transparent. I was able to connect with other people around me because no longer was I shameful, no longer was I embarrassed, no longer did I blame myself. but I was able to get stronger. After the presentation, I was about to leave. There was a student who came up to me in tears. They asked if they could speak to me privately. And they explained to me how throughout this presentation, and because of the story I told, they were able to realize that they were in an abusive relationship. They didn't know that it had a name. They didn't know that what they were experiencing was the cycle of violence happening over and over and over in their relationship. Because I was transparent, because I shared a story, they were able to get help. My story, it's a lot. It's a lot for people to bear. But what I can do is share bits and pieces in hopes that it can inspire others, in hopes that it can educate and motivate others. That's one of the things that I hope that I'm doing here with this series. I'm sure some of you remember those transparencies in school. The teacher would wheel out this big projector, and it would be maybe like an 8.5 by 11 sheet of clear see-through paper. It was called a transparency, and they would place that blank sheet over this projector, and they would turn it on, it would crank up and make this loud noise. The teacher would have to raise their voice a bit, and this light would shine through. Yeah. The teacher would then write on it, and then it would be projected on the wall or the screen for you to look at. Yeah, that light, it was shining through to be projected, to be seen. To shine light, to be exposed, that takes work. That takes effort. That's scary. Transparent yields connection. Light connection. Shining light. Why wouldn't we want to shine our light? When we shine our light, we sometimes unknowingly give other people the permission to do the same. I won't say everyone, but I think a lot of us would agree that what we need right now in this world today is more light. Be a light. Don't be afraid of the light. Let the light shine through you. You're special. Your story matters. Your story holds power. Don't be afraid to be transparent. I will see you right back here tomorrow for day 3 of the 7 Days of Fortitude.